What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. Just realised my first take at this intro was about 2 minutes long and nobody wants to see me flying around the map for 2 minutes. So to sum it all up in short, this is Tyla Rattray's compound, created by Bradley Clay. It is an incredibly rough nationals track with an accompanying 2 supercross tracks. They're actually really fun. And a little bit extra on the side as well, like a flowy kind of turn track, a figure of 8, just one normal loop as well. And it's really good. I was told to ride the factory bikes for this, as specifically requested by the track creator. So that's what I'm doing. And I hope you enjoy the video. For all of you passionate gamers, you can now get 20% off all G Fuel products worldwide by using code LINS at checkout. And for any of you motorheads looking for some new drip or apparel, use code MXPR_LINS15 fxrracing.eu to get 15% off. All links and codes are in the description down below. Enjoy the video and drop a cheeky little like and subscribe. So after a very long 2-minute intro, I'm sorry, I had no idea I was waffling for that long. Let's get into it, shall we? Also, I wanted to just show off the drip again. Like, all of the gear sets that I run recently combined with the bike graphics, I think they just look incredible. And time again, I can't thank 327 enough for everything that he does for me. Like, he doesn't ask anything of me. Like, he hasn't even asked me to put his sponsor anywhere on streams or anything like that. I slap it as one of the scrolling sponsors on the live streams just to show some appreciation. But no, massive shout out to him. And definitely, if you want anything made for yourself, custom, like he does fully custom or he does semi-custom graphics for MX bikes, and in real life as well, I believe, then definitely go and check him out, see what he can do for you. So I think we need to approach this track in a very different way to what we usually would. And I can already see like characteristics of sim tracks in the past, because Bradley Clay does come over from a sim background, and I'm very happy that he started making tracks for us over here on MX Bikes. Traitor! And like I said in the intro, he very strongly recommended I try the factory bikes out on this track because they ride this track in particular the best. And oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to be very I'm kind of retarded, very careful, and probably not look at the camera as much as I have been in past videos. Hope you didn't miss the face cam too much in yesterday's video, by the way. I recorded that literally after rolling out of bed. I looked an absolute state, so I apologise for that. But, you know, it is what it is. You can't be spoiled with too much of a good thing, you know. Maybe I'm getting a little bit big-headed there. Who knows? But let's try this out. This Nationals track, very long. I want to say probably over 2 minutes easily. And, oh God, I can already see where I'm going to be struggling. I think I can see why he's told me to ride this factory bike, because whilst I've started gelling with the OEM bikes quite a lot now that I've been given that KTM setup and actually starting to feel comfortable in it and I can put down consistent laps, the one place where I find myself struggling time and time again is trying to turn whilst in braking bumps. And I know you shouldn't be able to turn very sharp in braking bumps anyway, you know, that goes without saying, it's not realistic to do so. But I'm just kind of comparing it to bikes we've had on the past and how they've handled them. So I'm more than open to trying the factory bikes on this and see how these handle it for the time being. Lots of rut selection in the corners, like there's 4 ruts in that one corner alone, so absolute W for that. And it's already, it seems like quite a nice change of pace, you know. I always talk about like characteristics, I can't even talk, that different track creators have and how you know what tracks are made by which person. And I feel like Bradley definitely goes down the route of trying to get a little bit more realism or slowing the tracks down a bit. So he hasn't got the massive ruts that you can get cranked over into and hit them 4th or 5th gear pinned. He forces you to take your time, pick your lines properly, slow down. I'm still gonna send it. And I enjoy it, you know. I prefer the slower paced riding. I like when we have to kind of like tiptoe our way through some sections in order to stay up on the bike. I think that probably stems back to my love of enduro. Enduro still on this game is one of my most favourite things to do, especially when it comes to enduro races, because they're just a whole different kind of racing to normal. Whilst you can, you know, grind the enduro track still and get used to them and then ride around them, even if they're like 10-15 minute lap times, you can still race them, if you know what I mean. But there's always that element of consistency involved in there, whereas I feel sometimes if we have tracks that are wide open everywhere, even if people crash on laps, they can still get up and get going fairly quickly and recover. You know, there's not too much of a penalty for riding over the top all the time. I'm probably just like grumpy because as the years go on and people are getting better and better, my skill levels kind of staying the same. So I'm not progressing at the same rate as everybody else. So it looks like I'm going backwards or getting worse. But I feel like I've gone into like a little bit of a plateau where I've stayed the same speed for quite a while, but everyone else has just got faster.
I can't fucking compete!
I was very pleasantly surprised to have Bradley appear in my DMs the other day when he sent this to me originally. It's just very nice being in the privileged position of getting to ride people's tracks before they release. I'm always appreciative of track creators when they slide into my messages. A lot of time I like it when the track is finished or almost completely finished, so what I end up riding and then showcasing to you guys is the same as, or if not very, very close to the final product, because I have people that even if they might be brand new to track creating, they might be in the game for a while, but then I'll get people send me tracks that they're like halfway done, you know, like decals or textures aren't done at all, it's just like a base terrain, and it's like I don't really want to play this right now, because then when the full thing releases, I'm not going to have like a nice genuine reaction to trying to track to the first time. And that's what I like about these videos. People will say from time to time like, oh, why don't you just practice the track first so then you don't crash as much when you're trying to show it off to us. And I think a lot of it is just trying to get that raw reaction to a track and get that enjoyment out of it and hopefully convey that across to you guys. And stuff like this, I don't think it matters how many laps you spin around a track like this. Obviously you're going to get some sort of muscle memory down, but there is a cap to how fast you can go at the end of the day. Like, this is much more about like technique and precision than just trying to go wide open, which I absolutely love. And I feel like there's been certain GP tracks throughout the last year, let's say, where some tracks I'm way off pace, like multiple seconds off. But then there's been others that have been a little bit more on the technical side, a little bit more kind of like try and pick your line and stand up on the pegs and slowly maneuver your way around the corners. Or even, I think that extends to the sand tracks as well, actually, where it's like really rough everywhere and you kind of jump your way around the track and have to be smooth and consistent and precise. Those are the races that I seem to do best on. Another good example is in the GP season this year, when we raced on Ernay, it was a mud race. They made it a rainy one, and it's the best I've ridden all year, at least in comparison to everyone else. I don't feel like I rode special at all. I was just consistently decent, whereas I think other people, not being used to the rainy conditions, I think they noticed the lack of traction compared to normal. So yeah, I had really good races and like the more technical rounds this year. So from a completely unbiased perspective, of course, that's why I like the rougher tracks. That inside is absolutely brutal. Yeah, look at the size of that bad boy. Holy moly.
That's what she said.
So I think there's a couple of ways you can try and approach this. I think you can either try and double your way through. So if I could roll over this, jump off this one and downside this one, and then possibly triple into the corner, then I'm worried that the gap between this bump and this bump might be a little bit too short. So it might cause some weird suspension issues. The only alternative I can see is almost trying to treat it like a whoops, which is what I was doing, but I don't think I got the trajectory right. I feel like I need to swing out wide here to the left and then almost like cut across diagonally this way rather than coming in tight and then trying to turn on these bumps last second. But very, very difficult. Like, not the usual type of roughness that we get on these tracks. I know full well that this track isn't going to be everyone's idea of fun, but I know there's going to be a specific group of people out there that are going to absolutely love this. And I mean, it's a compound at the end of the day, so it's not just the one Nationals track. I think what we're going to do... Oh, I went way too fast in there. How have I survived that? Holy moly. I don't think I deserved to survive that. I think that was just pure luck at that point. We're going to get to the endless lap on a Nationals track, and I know we haven't actually done many laps on it, probably even 2 or 3 at a push, but it's a good 2 to 2.5 minute lap time, so it does take quite a while to get around. But I really want to show off the Supercross tracks because they looked very, very exciting to me. There's usually a debate every single Supercross season that everyone has on if there should be pre-made ruts on the Supercross tracks, yes or no. I've always been in the yes camp, just because I think it makes the racing a little bit better from people taking different lines in the corners. Unfortunately, the quickest way around a Supercross track in this game, because of how the game's built and how the physics work, and just like the lack of a seat bouncing mechanic, is that railing the outside of every corner is always going to be the fastest way around a Supercross track. You can't really cut down underneath people to try and make passes. It's just how the game's made. So a lot of people, when they argue for no pre-made ruts on Supercross, they want to do it saying that we can then make more passes by diving up the inside or cutting down on people. Whereas I feel like if there's multiple ruts that all follow the 180 of the bowl turn, then you could go inside or you could go outside and still hit the big lines. So I am a fan of pre-made ruts on Supercross. Basically a really long-winded way of saying that. So let's try these ones out and see what's what. It seems like, for the most part, unless it's like a tight inside rut like this corner right here, he's only got them on the exit. which I actually think is quite a smart move, because then it leaves the corner open to enter it in any way you want. And then you can either rail the whole thing and exit on the far outside, you can like brake here and then cut down and take one of the more inside ruts, and if I actually hit the corner properly, I could probably still triple in there. And then I also like the way that, let me show you there so I can show you what I mean. I also like how he's like eroded away the landing of this jump to almost simulate people coming up a little bit short or getting on the brakes or rolling over that single. Really good attention to detail. And so far the jumps, they don't seem like really big in terms of scale. It feels like it's quite small for scale, but they're very peaky, the jumps. They send you really, really high up. Also, that is a W, where you can cut down and go over the inside rut, or you can just take the inside rut. Leaves the door open for some more passes, hopefully. Like, that would be a brutal place to dive up the inside someone just as they're trying to cut down. Like, they would get absolutely destroyed. That would be so, so funny. So I think my goal on these Supercross tracks is just to run a clean lap. These do all have their own timing. I know my pit board on the left there just is giving you the Nationals lap times, but it's because I've not gone back to the pits and then gone back into the game and loaded the tracks up individually. But there is separate timing for each one of these tracks. It's got, I think it's called like North SX, South SX, and then Nationals, I believe. He hasn't got like different timing for like the turn track over there, for example, but I don't really think it needs it. That was quite sexy. I'm very, very satisfied with that. Jesus. Oh, I love it. Right, let's try and hit this triple into this section now. We'll take the second to outside. I actually overjumped it a little bit. I know the factory 450s have a lot in terms of acceleration. That is a huge step on. Oh, boys. I'm vibing with this right now. I can't lie. Like, head over heels already. But I much prefer this to Nationals any day. I'm such a happy man when you give me a brand new Supercross track that's been well built. It's actually crazy. And I suppose, now I think about it, once Nations is done, I have no need to ride outdoors at all until Supercross. I suppose I could take part in like the occasional series that happens on my MXB. Like there's a lot of factory series going on at the moment on TFC's tracks and then the GP tracks as well. But yeah, other than that, there's no need for me to go outdoors. I don't go outdoors anyway. I stay inside quite a lot in real life. But that's not what I'm talking about. I mean go outdoors in terms of in the game. We've got Nations is on the 4th, which obviously is outdoors. It's going to be on a brand new A track that JV's building. The LAN event, which is going on the 10th in Italy, is actually going to be on a Supercross track. How that works is every year at this event, they build a Supercross track there. They do like a live race there as well. And the track that we're going to be racing on is going to be a replica of that track, which I think is actually quite a cool concept overall. It'll be cool to see how it plays out in and out of game. So I suppose I should get on a little bit of a Supercross grind between now and then too on the TM. I have no idea how to get the TM for a whoop section, so that'll be interesting. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I always love Supercross season. It always seems to be a bit of a hit and miss for me, because I love Supercross as a discipline. I love just hopping on into testing and riding laps on Supercross tracks because I find it very, very satisfying. Even riding with like 2, 3, 4 other people. But it's one of the most frustrating things to try and properly race on in this game. When you've got a gate of 22 people and you're all trying to go into turn 1 or you're all trying to dodge each other through rhythm sections, it is incredibly, incredibly frustrating, especially then when you throw the MX Bikes netcode into the mix as well and you're lagging all over the place. This isn't a dig at Chicken by any means, because I think Chicken, even with his ping, is still one of the cleanest riders on the entire gate. So I have nothing but respect for his racecraft. But when you're sat behind Chicken and you see him flickering and moving all over the place when you have to get a corner perfect and try and triple into a rhythm section to carry your speed, it's so stressful. Like, it's so nerve-wracking. It's unreal. It's not too bad when I do the European races, because you get the occasional like Aussie or maybe a Brazilian turn up that 300 or so ping, but everyone else always seems to be like 100 or below. It's when I go into the NA races and I'm the odd one out and I'm the one with the high ping, that then you always seem to lose in them 50-50 battles. If you bump into people, you'll always come off worse if you have high ping in that situation. So I know that B-Clay suggested that I ride the factory bike on this compound as a whole. I actually would not be against trying out the OEM on these Supercross tracks, because I feel like the OEMs can go around Supercross tracks pretty damn good. They definitely blitz whoop sections faster than the factory bikes do. they tend to like move forwards more on the whoops, whereas the factory bikes soak the whoops up so much that it kind of bogs and slows them down a little bit, and by the end of the whoop section you're like really like searching for some speed. But interesting to see how they handle this, especially now that I've got a setup that I'm actually quite comfortable with. And I think these, I haven't actually got on the other track yet, but this track that I'm playing right now, I don't think it would actually be that much different than what we'll end up riding on. In terms of scale, at least, I think Stone Rider's making or scaling the Supercross tracks to suit the OEM bikes, and with the OEM 250s being, I want to say I say slow in terms of compared to every other bike in the game at the moment. They're not slow overall. I feel like the scaling of the tracks can't be that big, otherwise the 250s won't be able to get over anything. So I'll be very curious to see how big the rhythm sections are, but this could be a very, very good place to practice. Alright, let's move over to this second track now. So this isn't going to be the final one of the video, this is the third and final actual track. So, oh, I thought that was like a hidden fourth track over there. It's part of the Nationals track still, just where the Nationals track is so long, it just loops over the entire compound. Right, that's a wall. That's kind of a wall. It's a little, so it goes double, and then I guess you want a triple to downside here, and then double into the corner. Okay, right, let's do a little bit of a slow lap to learn. Is this a triple? It is a triple. I never know when I'm coming up to the face lows if it's like the finish line double or if it's a proper triple. Right, we've got these little like barriers or bollards to stop us. That's a triple into here, so I think it's triple. You then take off of this and downside here, and then double into this corner. I love sections like this where you can go inside and take off the inside of the roller and still jump onto the tabletop. I absolutely love. If I can find it, I'll insert the clip here. If I can't find it, I apologise.
But then Hemi gonna be able to kind of box him out. Linz to the inside. Way more speed down this straightaway. Hemi's gonna...
There's a little clip of me doing that in Supercross in the last season, and Hemi wasn't a fan of it at the time. We've kissed and made up since, but he absolutely sent me to the moon one lap when I was going for it because he thought it was a bit of a scummy thing to do at the time. But hey, my opinion was it's within track limits. You know, I'm not going off the track. I'm not cutting at all. I'm just doing a nice creative line. But yeah, if I can find that, that'll be so funny to show off to everybody. But sections like that, love. I think they're so like creative, and they're not unrealistic at all. Like you see people doing it at IRL all the time when lines develop that way. So yeah, all means absolutely slap that stuff into the game. And again, that's another reason why I feel like we should have pre-made road on the Supercross tracks. I absolutely love it. So we go double in that time. Maybe you can't triple in there. I suppose, I think I just need to scrub the double before it a little bit harder, because I overjumped it slightly and I was quite high up in the air, so my momentum wasn't going forwards. I'm just a little bit scared because the takeoff of the double seems quite steep. So I'm scared of like sending it too hard. Ooh, what's this? Send this. Oh, okay, that turned into a nice little quad unexpectedly. I think that's that factory acceleration come into play. That's one of them spots that you really do notice it. Really steep double. Managed to land that no problem though. The two whoop sections on these tracks have been very easy. Like I can just go through here holding down the right trigger. I've just realised I've not got my controller overlay on. I do apologise. Overjumped that double in again, so that's annoying, but that would just be a double triple. And then what else can we do in this section? I feel like I've taken the same line every time. You can 100% triple into there instead. I reckon it's a triple quad double. I feel so bad that I'm just like casing and rolling and doubling my way around this entire track. But it's quite nice to just like learn the track whilst showing you guys my thought process as well. Because people are always asking like what Supercross tracks to try and get better on. And the honest answer is there's not many that you can do. You just have to spin lap after lap, slowly build your speed up, and then eventually it will just click, you know, and you'll get it. So what's that? Triple, quad, or triple. I'm not going through this whole debate of if a tabletop counts as 1 or 2 again. We step on, step off, quad that. I don't know if I'm going to get all the way over it. No, I tried doing... If you do like a little sway left to right on the takeoff when your seat bouncing, sometimes gives you a little bit extra distance. Maybe. It might be placebo, but I definitely feel like if I kind of hook the bike from one side to the other as I take off, I go further. It acts like a little bit... I think all games have that. I mean, Sim had a similar thing where if you hook the bike one way to the other, you go further. Jump that a bit far again, but it's okay. The takeoff of that was quite steep, so we got up and over it. So let's try tripling in this time. Yeet. Oh, I didn't get it cleanly. That's fine. We still landed in a decent rhythm here, and then we just go double. Right, I want to check up, and I want to scrub this one quite hard to stay low. Nice, and then... What's the alternative line here? So you just roll it, and then double that, and then double again. Now that definitely feels a lot slower. You definitely want to be stepping on out of that corner. Little tyre tap, love that. Always a bit of a slut for a tyre tap in this game. No better feeling than when you get a tyre tap just right. Oh, hold on, Dur. That's why you got to go into these jumps straight. Right, check up on this. Good job. It only took you 4 attempts to learn to check up on one jump. So I'm going to go a little bit wider this time, see what we can do from out here. Oh, and then we can kind of cut back and triple in. That was much better. Step over, triple into the corner. Oh, boys, that was silky. So rewarding when you get stuff right. And then land this. I don't think we're going to get the triple. No, I think... Let me turn around real quick. I just want to see if I can... If double and then triple into the corner is a more feasible line. So I'm just not getting, like, the drive. I feel like I'm, like, spinning the back wheel up a little bit when I'm landing this double. So if I just go double... Oh, now I've actually downsided it nicely. I probably could have done it then. Double and then triple. Dab the back brake. Yeah. Just a lot. It's a lot safer of a line. Seems like to be the way to go. And then we hit the big old triple in here. I want to take the piss a little bit. I want to see if we can quad our way into here. We cut over this route. Yo, yeet. Go on. No. That was almost really good. Right, I told you we'd check out absolutely everything, and that includes the turn track. This is a very tight figure of 8. Jesus. Okay. That might actually be really difficult to do. I just want to see if I can get a fluid, like 1 or 2 laps. Oh, it's very difficult to get the bike just to stay nice and low the whole way round. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, I ducked the handlebars in a little bit. Turn. Oh, this is a nightmare. I can imagine, like, if you had very lower road settings on, imagine just spinning lap after lap after lap around these 2 corners and how dug down it would get and how smooth the road would get too if you do it smoothly. I think if you put the road on high and done this, it would get really jagged and horrible. If you've done it really smoothly, it'd be so nice. And then as you get more and more comfortable, you can try and pick up your speed higher and higher. The only thing I'm struggling with right now is I'm leaning the bike over so far that I'm pretty sure that the bottom of my forks are digging into the ground, which is causing the steering just to knife a little bit. But such a cool concept, and something very simple that seems quite easy just to slap into any track, which would be nice if more people done. And then instead of a figure of 8 here, we've just got a normal circle, figure of 0, so you can practice your left turns or your right turns. Which way does this track go? It goes this direction. Is it sand traction? No, it's not. Okay, so it's whooped out like sand, but it's not quite sandy. Definitely adds into that whole rough aspect. Like that he's got a little bit of a built up ridge on the side there. Stop people cutting, stop people being a scumbag. And to be fair, if you was to ask me what kind of a track I think Tyla Rattray would have, I would probably answer with something like really beat up and really rough. I don't know why, I just kind of associate that with the South African people. Hats off, by the way. I do not follow rugby, but apparently the South Africans done very well in rugby this year. So big W to you guys. I'm not going to elaborate any further on that because I have no idea what goes on in the rugby world. Not a sport that I follow at all. But there's been a few people pop into my stream because apparently England got beaten by South Africa. So well done to the South Africans. Oh, that's actually a really short track. Okay, definitely one that you could probably work on your rhythms. Like this would, I know it's not sand traction, but it would definitely help you learn your rhythms and jump in round corners for sand tracks, which I always am a big fan of. Unfortunately, on both the OEM bikes and the factory bikes at the moment, I feel like neither of them handle sand particularly amazingly. A lot of the time it feels like, I think it's a combination of 2 things. So it's the tyres, I feel like, slow you down more than they used to. I think they've got a lot more resistance to them. And then also, what seems to happen at the moment is, if you're in a particularly rough sand section, the bikes seem to go down into each roller and then pop you back up, rather than absorbing it and moving your momentum forwards. One example of this is, some of you might know a man by the name of Quacks. He lurks in multiple discords. He done a lap on Keegums in like the middle of the GP season earlier in the year on the last OEM betas, and I think he ran like a 42, like a 142, something like that. And then he went to run another lap again the other day. He said on a clean lap he was only able to get a 148, and he refuses to believe that you can just be 6 seconds off just from you know, maybe having a bad day. So it does show that whilst I think these bikes are a lot faster on other soil tracks right now, I think sand tracks have been done a little bit dirty, which is a shame for me, because as you boys know, I do love a sand track, and they seem to be where I get my best results from. But you know what? I think we've done this place some good justice. It is absolutely brutal, so if you are going to give it a go, know what you're getting yourself in for. Like, it is not easy by any means. If you're looking for a track where you can just hold it wide open, probably not for you. However, if you want a little bit of a challenge and you want to pace yourself and really pick your lines and work on your techniques into corners, then 100% this track is the way to go. It will make you a better rider overall. It will teach you how to hit braking bumps in a more controlled manner. Like, don't just go in and jam on the brakes and lock up the wheels and get ejected. Like, try and keep the power on a little bit over all the bumps until you get sat down. Stand up until the very last second. Oh god. So even someone like me, I've got just under 3,000 hours now. I'm set at about 2,800. They're still difficult. And this isn't even the main national track. This is just meant to be a little bit of fun on the side. So thank you very much, B-Clay, for making this for us. Again, this track is releasing 8 PM UTC time on MX Bike Shop. So definitely go and check it out when it releases. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, if you could just drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, I'd really appreciate it. And I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.